What's going on, Facebook fam? All my social media outlets, man. Wall Street Jewelers, man. Sean Williams coming to you live, man. Appreciate you, man. Let me get somebody to load up, man. I appreciate you, man. Jumping on the live real fast, man. WBTU and radio station, Champaign, Illinois, coming to you live. Your boy Sean Williams, man, coming to you, man. Just wanted to jump on this live. Not gonna hold you up too long. Not gonna hold you up too long, man. Just wanted to try to jump on this live, man, and give you some value this evening. So what's going on, man? Hope your day been as productive as mine. Hope your day has been as productive as mine. Make sure that you tag and share, tag and share. If you're on our YouTube, tag and share. You're on our Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. Make sure you make your comments in the comment section, man. I want to bring you some value. Let me cut this off. I want to bring you some value this evening. I want to bring you just a little bit of value this evening, man, talking about life insurance. Um, as many of you know, I do life insurance. I own a funeral home here locally in town. We use memorial services. And I've been in the insurance business just as long as I've been in the funeral home business. Probably about 12 years, me and Stacy Henry. Big shouts out to you, Stacy. We got into the funeral home industry. We did 27 funerals that summer, and 17 families didn't have insurance. So what that led us to do is research to find out why we don't have insurance. And so we found out it was many reasons. We found out that you were getting that largely in the African American community, folks were getting turned down because of existing health conditions, felonies, obesity, high blood pressure, stroke, diabetes, a whole bunch of different things that held us back from having final expense life insurance or adequate life insurance at the time of exiting this life and leaving a severe burden on their families, right? And so I always said that I was going to bring this conversation back up. I do this every day, whether it's life insurance or dealing with families, those type of things. And so, man, make sure you put your comments in the comment sections. I'm going to try to answer all questions. So make sure you put your comments in the comment section, and I'm going to try to answer every question from everyone that might have some questions out there. And so one of the things about it, what we do is that we do more final expense. So final expense life insurance are smaller policies, anywhere from $1,000 to maybe $30,000, $40,000 worth of life insurance. There are a few different types of life. There's a lot of insurances out there when it comes down to life insurance. The few that we're going to talk about tonight will be final expense life insurance, smaller policies, able to take care of just final expenses like funeral cost, travel cost, getting a U-Haul for the family to be able to move items real fast. It might be for repass. It might be for a few different things. So a smaller policy that the family's not left with a burden. Then we're going to talk about term life insurance. Term life insurance, just to get you up to speed and give you some information on what term life insurance is. When you think of term life insurance, think of temporary, okay? Think of temporary life insurances. And I always like to give you something where you can envision what we're talking about, right? When you talk about life insurance, I want you to be able to envision. So when you talk about term, I've had a lot of folks where I'm in Decatur, I'm in Danville, I'm Effingham, or wherever I'm at, right? And I'm talking to folks and they might have a policy. And you always got to beware, right, of some of the policies. And just because somebody's a different ethnicity than what I am, don't feel like his word is born. Because some folks out there just for commission breath, man. They just out there trying to get paid and they sell you whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it's crucial that you understand what you're getting, right? So when you come down to term life insurance is temporary. So it's for a temporary need. So you might talk about term life insurance. You get it for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and then it goes away, or to a certain age. So say age 70. Once you might get a letter in the mail at age 70, and then at age 75, it go away. Well, what they're saying, and I get a lot of folks on the phone because I know we don't like to hear the bad news from us or information from us. So what I'll do is I'll say, hey, check it out. I am over here with my aunt. I'm sitting with my aunt, and I'll call the company with my aunt. I mean, well, it don't be my aunt, but I'll say it's my aunt, right? Because we didn't develop the rapport when I walked into the house and I say, hey, look, I'm sitting with my aunt and we're going over her insurance policy. And she and I clearly understand it because I know the language, right? Because it's a language barrier. So I read over the policy. I see that it's a term policy, and I know she don't want to believe me, right? So what I'll do is I'll get the folks on the phone. I'll say I'm sitting with my aunt. Hey, this is the information. Aunt gives permission for them to talk to me, and then I'll say, okay, does this policy term out? At what point does it term out? And they'll say, well, Mr. Sean, it terms out at age 70. And then I'll explain to the person what's going on. Really, what the insurance company is saying, you need to die before this policy turns out. And that's cut and simple. I want to make it right there, like Joe Madison would say, right where the goats can get it. So I want you to be able to understand this so people aren't talking over your head. I always like to educate. I always want to bring value when I grab information and I'm sharing it with the community because I want you to understand. I want you to be equipped, right? I don't want you left holding the bag. So that's term insurance. A lot of times what I end up seeing, a lot of people get term insurance policies because they're cheap. Okay. Term policies are very, very cheap. And I'm not going to say one is better than the other. All of them have their specific place and their specific needs. For a younger family, a guy and his wife and children, I would say a term policy is needed. But I would also say maybe a whole life policy is needed also. So you'll have some dual coverages going on. And I might even say that you need to look into some investment products. And we're going to get into that, what that investment product. So younger families, you got a home, you got a car, you got kids that need to be put in college. Those are policies that cover you 50,000, 100,000, 250,000, maybe 300,000, $500,000, maybe $1 million. I would say those policies are right there in line for what you have going on at your life at that moment. Okay. For your life at that moment. So these are policies that you should have. If you need my help, let me get my information because I know our attention span is short. Give me a call. I'm in Champaign, Illinois, but we have agents all across the country, and I can get somebody in your specific area to fit your needs. Give me a call, 217-202-9256. I'll say it again, 217-202-9256. Moving forward. So term policies, there is a need for term. Okay. My next place that I'll go is whole life policies. I find a lot of our seniors there, we're getting whole life policies for them, right? So that it covers them their whole life. I've had people that have been mistaken and they thought they had something that was whole life and it was nothing but term. Okay. Whole life policies. They are a little bit more expensive, but they have more value to them than what a term policy has. They have value. They have a cash value. You can build up cash value within your policy and you can borrow the cash back, right? You could borrow the cash from the policy. Okay. Okay. I've had people that had insurance and they had a whole life policy for many years since the 80s. And they built up way more cash in the policy than the policy was even worth. So this is called being upside down in your policy. It is a mechanism. This is where we lose on information. This is where we lose on the information because we don't know. If you don't know the information, you lose. When you're upside down the policy, and what that means is that grandma bought the policy in the 80s, okay? It's worth $5,000 face amount, okay? But grandma's paid $15,000 in the policy. That means that grandma, you're upside down. It is a mechanism that's in insurance law that grandma can now say, hey, I'm upside down this policy. I pay way more into this policy than it's really going to pay me out. Let me surrender this policy. The insurance company by law has to give grandma now a lot of her money back, okay? Now grandma could take a lot of her money back, go put it on her funeral cost, and still have some money left over to go on a vacation, to get an extension onto the home, do some stuff with the grandkids, whatever the case might be. Grandma has now the ability to do it because she's now equipped with the information. Okay. Whole life policies have a whole lot of different mechanism in it, where the fact that we don't understand whether it's term or it's whole, you can now use that for collateral. I know personally that this works. Okay. Personally, I know this because a lot of times when you go to a bank, and you're trying to get a loan, and the first thing they say, hey man, you got any collateral? And the first thing we say, well, I ain't got no collateral. I don't own anything. Okay, now you own an insurance policy, right? You got 150, you got $250,000 life insurance. Hey, look, bud, check this out. I got a life insurance policy that can be used for collateral. And I wanted to just bring this up because of the fact that we don't believe a lot of information from us, right? And we don't believe certain things can work. Folks have been doing this for years. Other races, they leverage these things. The word is called leverage. They leverage all of these instruments for benefit, for generational wealth or success or accomplishments or trying to get things done. So what they do is that they leverage these instruments, these insurance tools for their benefit. Okay. So just don't let it be just a bill. Okay. Don't let it just be a bill. Utilize those things so that they're useful to your family. Okay. The next thing I would say, index annuities, right? Universal index annuities. Okay. Universal life policies. Those are more based along a growth, right? You pay a certain amount on your policy and then it grows over time aligned with the stock market. Okay. And it goes like fixed annuities. So fixed annuities, that means that you're fixed in at a certain price, but it grows over time. And then fixed meaning that when the stock market, like right now, stock market's going down, your stuff is locked. Your investment is locked in. That's what fixed means. So don't get discouraged for not knowing the information. You can attach yourself or call an insurance agent. Make sure it's somebody studious. Make sure it's somebody that got your best interest in heart. And then you can ask those technical questions, right? And find out the information. I always say, I learned this in the military. There's never a dumb question. Okay, let me repeat that. There's never a dumb question. But one thing that you don't want to find out at the end of life, you have made some grave mistakes. Okay, you have made some grave mistakes that's going to do your family a disservice or put them in a bad position. I know a lot of us do not like to look at life insurance as the form of a wheel. Well, what I explain to my agents, and when I teach this to my agents, is to teach it to your client as this is a final will and testimony and a final benefit for their loved ones. Okay. I always run into people that say, you know what, Sean, check this out. I'm going to be dead. Okay. I really don't care about the life insurance. I'm not going to spend my money. So what I do is I'll say, hey, look, check this out. I know, I know, let's pick a name. I know, John, that you're not going to be here, but who's going to be responsible for your final funeral bill? And you said you want to get buried, right? Okay, John, and that's not going to happen right now. That might happen 10 or 15 years. Well, you know, everything goes up in 10 or 15 years because of inflation. Okay, so you want to get buried at a local cemetery. That's going to be about maybe $15,000 to $20,000. And who's going to be responsible for that? And they'll say, oh, that's going to be my sister, Sally. Okay, well, let me call Sally. And I'll get Sally on the phone. I'll say, Sally, you know, I'm up here at this apartment complex with your brother, John. And he said that you're going to be responsible for his $10,000 or $15,000 funeral bill. And it'll blow her mind back. She'd be like, what? And I said, yeah, it's not going to really be his problem. He's definitely right. It won't be his problem, but it'd be your problem, right? So what do we need to do? We need to protect our loved ones. And so it's a whole lot of things to know about insurance. And I would ask that you give me a call, 217-202-9256. You can inbox me, you can hit me on my YouTube page. I'll give you a lot of more valued information. I mean, there's some things that I wish I knew about life insurance back in the early 2000s when I had a friend that died, that worked closely with me for many years. I never knew it was a thing called key person insurance, that we could have protected ourselves because he was a valued employee. He was a valued co-owner of a business. And so, I mean, and we still haven't, mentally recovered from that. And so, losing a loved one can be impactful, but losing a loved one can be actually beneficial to a family if you structure this stuff right. That now and I know in our mindsets and the way we've been taught, religious mindsets, we think that I'm not gonna benefit for somebody's death, right? Well, that is one of the main ways other ethnic groups take advantage. Picket lines and picket signs. Oh my goodness. Did my live cut off? No, my live is still going. That is the way other ethnicities take advantage, right, of financial wealth, financial growth. I mean, and I've spoken to all my own personal family members that said, man, I don't really want to, man, that seemed kind of wrong. But this is the way that I'll give you a prime example, right? I'll give you a prime example. When you ride to these other cities and you see these big churches and they have maybe a daycare attached and they got maybe a school and a bunch of different stuff, what happens is that a lot of parishioners leave the church an insurance policy, and it's called charitable giving. They'll leave the church a policy for the future religious growth of their organization. And that's when those folks have $1 million or $500,000 or $30,000 to continue the mission of saving folk or to helping folk, right? And so we got to change. The Bible talks about renewing of our minds. We have to change the way we think about things so that now we can put our family into a better position, not just leave them a bill, because most of the time we leaving folks in turmoil. We don't want to leave folks in turmoil anymore. We want to be able to call an agent like Sean, an agent like Stacy, an agent like Joe, an agent like somebody, and put us in a driver's seat that now we leave our family in a better position than when we showed up. So now we can get a kid to college and he'll say, hey man, if it wasn't for my grandma's insurance policy, I would have never been able to make it to Spelman or Morehouse or major university to get a proper education. And so we got to start looking at things a lot different. We got to start trusting valued folks that's in the community to be able to give us this valued information, man, to be able to help us furtherly grow, man. And we got to stop tearing each other down in the community. We got to start building each other up, man. So this is your boy, Sean. I'm not going to hold you up any longer, man. I know our attention span is short. Share this information and this video with family and friends, and you might be sitting down and you can get them sit down for about 15, 20 minutes. Let them watch this video, man. Give me a buzz, man. Let me run through some things, give you some free quotes on some life insurance that you guys might need. I mean, we're part of one of the largest final expense companies in the country. These guys have educated me, to the top ability of educational knowledge that you can receive in the insurance industry. I mean, we're pretty studious. We've done everything from knocking on doors to walking in the rain to standing in front of dollar stores to being on live to talking to families across the state of Illinois, helping families and being in seminars. So we are equipped to give you all the work and knowledge that you might need. I'm attached with some other folks that can get you some additional stuff. Stuff like, being your own bank and what that means. And you might hear a lot of these terms on the internet and stuff like that. It is time out for us not to know. It's time out. We don't have to go through the GoFundMe's. That's okay if you have to do that. But at the same time, if we know better, we can now start to do better. So reach out to me, inbox me. I know what an insurance company I got. We can get your kids covered from age 0 to 17 for $4. $4 a month. We all got $4 a month. From $4 a month, and it will carry them to the age of 26 We just will attach it as a rider onto a policy. And that's another thing. It's a thing called riders. We can get riders put on a policy like accidental. We can get all kinds of different things put onto a policy that can help us and benefit us when somebody life is coming to an end. So I thank you guys. I'm out, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Hit me up, inbox me. I'm gonna give my information one more time before I get up out of here. 217-202-9256. On another note, Wall Street Jewelers, this is the page that we're on. We do a lot of stuff with finances, whether if it's insurance, whether if it's stock market conversations, investment talk. We're bringing it to you live, man. So we're going to be coming to you live from WBTUM locally here in Champaign to bring you a lot of value and a lot of wealth and to put your guys in a better position so we can win even in this terrible economy, because you still can win in the end, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Hats off to you, man. You guys take it easy and pray for me, and I continue to pray for you. If you have any questions, put them in my inbox. Hit me if you want to do it privately. Inbox me privately, and I'll try to get back with you and bring you some super value. Okay, I'm out on some Marvin Gaye.
This is a groovy party, man. I can dig it.